Hey everyone, this is Barbie Collab, and today I'm excited to have the pleasure and honor of interviewing Keishia Embry, who is a two-star diamond coach. She has a doctorate in physical therapy, um, and she has been coaching for 2.5 years. Are you married? Do you have children? I should have asked that before.
Yes, I've been married for 10 years. I have two kiddos, a 5-year-old little girl and a 3-year-old little boy.
Awesome. So I asked Keisha to come on. She has been rocking it with recruiting, and she is attracting the right people to who want to build a business. So this video is for the lesson on recruiting and attracting business builders. So if you can give us just a little background about yourself when you started, and as I said, something has shifted for you and you are just kicking butt and taking names. When we chatted, you talked a little bit about the stigma with network marketing. So you can, I guess, begin there. What was different before and what's going on now? What happened to make that shift?
Yes, I think I'm like a lot of people. I kind of stumbled into this business, just kind of searching for something to make myself healthier. And so when I became a coach, I got into the discount and didn't plan on doing anything with the business. But I quickly realized I felt like God opened my eyes quickly to the possibility before me. But it made me super nervous because I'm like number one skeptic and was a huge hater on multi-level marketing opportunities. Like if you came across my newsfeed with a multi-level marketing opportunity, you're going to be quickly hidden. I probably made bad statuses about you on Facebook. Like it wasn't my thing back in the day. And so when all of a sudden I was like really diving into this community and really loving it and feeling like it was something that I was like supposed to do, I was just kind of had this block about it, you know? So when I very first started, I was really confident and just felt like I had to share the health piece, the challenge group piece of what it had done for me because it had transformed my life in a profound way. So I just got right to sharing that on social media. So I quickly was able to just be real with people and get people in as challengers. So I can hit high SC numbers, all of those things. I could get people over for the discount coaching. And I could even talk a few closer people into maybe looking into this opportunity further. But I wasn't confident in sharing the business part because, again, I had this mental block in my head that people would judge me. You know, being a professional, having a professional degree, I felt like other people that were educated or whatever would look at me differently whenever I was talking about this network marketing opportunity because they're kind of looking at me like, aren't you a PT? Like, shouldn't you just be happy and satisfied with that? So it was just this mindset. Like I felt like people were going to judge me because of my profession if I was really talking about this business. And people would even think that I was quitting physical therapy. I own my own physical therapy business. And so I wasn't ready to quit, didn't want to quit either. So I didn't want that to happen. So but it's all these mental blocks I just had like before me. So when I would share about the business, it would take a whole lot for me to like get there to share on social media. And I was looking at other coaches, like the way they shared, and I was sharing the way they shared. And it just really wasn't working for me.
So,
You know, running. Mhm.
so sorry, I don't mean to stop you. And there's a bit of a lag. So how were they sharing that you were trying to share, number one? And before you speak, I want to share with new coaches that so let's talk about rank just for a second, okay? We talk about our first rank advancement being emerald, the second one being a diamond coach, okay? Becoming a diamond is simply a milestone. It just means that you've brought in about 8 people to help you become diamond. Okay, a mistake that many people make and that we are trying to avert is we don't want you to think that you need 8 warm bodies to build a business, because what happens when you have 8 people that simply sign up Keishia, you were talking about, talking a friend into doing this, getting a challenger to do this that didn't really want to work the business. What's going to happen is you'll get to diamond, you'll reach that milestone. If you're just looking for people to fill up spots versus business builders, and then 2 weeks later, a month later, a week later, maybe your business will crumble. And on top of that, you won't make any income. So if you want to build a future with Beachbody, if you want to have a business and you want to help people and you want to make money, the way to do that is by being confident about the business and looking for people who want to work the business. So yeah, you said that you were posting like other people. What was that? What did that look like? And it wasn't working for you.
Right. So, other people were saying like, join me, talking about, I don't know, things that weren't necessarily relatable to me. I was able to, I'm trying to think, a lot of these coaches that I was trying to mimic were like doing this full time and or even were like super fitness buffs. And for me, even like I love nutrition and I'm obviously do fitness, but like I'm not like love fitness. So like I don't talk all about fitness because it's just not like a huge passion of mine. It's like I do it for my health, but I don't like just freaking love it, but I was trying to like mimic that in a way, and it was falling on deaf ears because if I'm trying to attract people like me, they're just like, oh, you're just some other fitness person and I'm just not that into you, So I had to be like, okay, who do I really want to attract? And I need to start talking to them and not try to mimic someone else or talk to the masses. Because even if their post comes across my newsfeed and has 200 comments, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't necessarily mean they're finding the right people either, but those are 200 people that are just not my people. So I had to concentrate and realize that.
That's it. So for those of you listening, make sure that you're being, what you're saying is be you. Whoever you are, be you. Because I think that's a mistake that so many coaches make. They try to be like someone else, or they try to emulate success. And so if you're a physical therapist and you want to attract other physical therapists, talk that language. We'll get to the pain points in a minute, but if you're a stay-at-home mom and you want to work with stay-at-home moms, then speak that language, right? Just be true to you, because the other stuff doesn't work. When you try to be someone else, it just doesn't work. So, okay, what happened that you had that shift?
So I think something that you just said right there is really important, because I think that you have to create that vision for who you want on your team. And that was something that I hadn't really done because I was still concentrating on the masses. I'm like, if I can just get whoever, I can like convince them and help them to do this. But then that led to frustration on my end and frustration on their end because we're just not super compatible. So I think like really casting the vision again, like, do you want to attract the stay-at-home moms? Do you want to attract the professional woman? And then know who you want to attract, and then talk to them in your post. And that's when the magic will start happening. So yeah, that's just something I just realized, and it was huge for me. Okay, so what did you ask? I'm sorry.
At what point, what made you realize that you were casting a big net, talking to the masses? What happened that made that shift for you?
So this summer, I'm usually off in the summers and don't work that much. And so I just had thought to myself, if I'm really going to do something big with this business, like something's got to change. And I've got to look at my weak points. And so my weak point is recruiting. And so if I ever want to go bigger in this business, I'm going to have to freaking figure out how to get better at it. So that was my mission from May on, was I'm going to become a freaking rock star recruiter, because right now I'm horrible. And so I picked up a couple of books that totally changed things for me. Get Over Your Damn Self. I read that first. And I just read it slowly. I didn't just I'm really guilty of like reading a bunch or doing a whole lot of training, but then not putting it into action. And so I was like, I'm going to do this slowly, and each chapter I'm going to really put it into action before I move forward. So that's what I did. And then right after that, I listened to the Audible version of the 5-second rule, which really, again, drove that action for me.
You didn't say the first book.
What?
You didn't say the name of the first book.
Oh, I did.
You didn't say the name of the first book.
Get Over Your Damn Self. And it's by Romy somebody. I forget her last name. So Get Over Your Damn Self.
But you can Google it.
Yes. And then Audible, I really recommend the Audible version of the 5-second rule because Mel Robbins is awesome in that Audible version. And so she like just sprung me into action. And honestly, I listened to her book like 4 times. I was just constantly listening to it. So I was just action oriented. So those 2 things kind of gave me that confidence shift and this mindset shift of, okay, you're going to go all in and go after it in this recruiting. So I decided to, again, start talking to my avatar. And I decided that these people, you know, I really wanted to build a team of other professional women who were like me because I knew they were driven, they were hardworking, and they knew deep down they were meant for something more. And I need to start speaking to that. And instead of telling myself in my mind that they were going to judge me for it, I had to shift that, no, they're not going to judge me. They're like me. They need it. They need me to share this with them because they're where I was in this misery of, holy cow, I'm stuck. I've worked so hard. I have all these loans. I've done all these things. And here I am like unfulfilled. And I'm supposed to be like, oh gosh, I have the dream job, whatever. And it's not my reality. So I started talking about that. I also realized about my avatar that my type of people are like really like leader and driven. And so they don't really like terms like join me, because to me, join me is like, join me, I'm the boss, and like, let me teach you kind of how to do it. And my kind of people are like, no, I want to be a business partner with you. Like, let's do this thing together. So I changed my language. I didn't say coaching anymore. I didn't say join me. I said partner with me. I named and branded my team the Legacy Project, something that means deep to me. I started sharing about the Legacy Project opportunity. I started saying I was looking for business partners that I wanted to mentor and lock arms with and do this thing big. Suddenly, I had so many people like, oh, tell me more. What is this Legacy Project? So it was this total shift of, holy cow, everybody suddenly wants to know, what am I doing? I want to partner with you. You're talking exact my language. That's what I want to do. I feel stuck. I want something else. I need something bigger. And suddenly I'm getting my type of people because I just dug deep and started freaking talking to my kind of people. So I really foster in my post, and then again in my sneak peeks, I quit focusing on like, oh, we want to help people. Oh, you just want to help people, all that kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. That's my favorite part. Remember, challenge groups, like I love it. I love mentoring people and seeing women transform. I love helping people. That's why I got into physical therapy. However, this business isn't just about helping people, okay? It's about running a business. And I have in my sneak peeks now really foster that CEO mindset from the beginning. And I tell them it's a direct reflection of how many people you help, but you have to recognize that you're going to have to work for it. I talk in my sneak peeks about casting a vision of not where you're going to be 2 to 3 months from now in joining the Legacy Project, but where you're going to be years from now in joining the Legacy Project. I tell them they're going to fail. I tell them that they're going to, you know, have road bumps and all those things, but that they're going to get through them. I'm going to help them. We're going to partner together and freaking figure it out because we're smart, driven people, and we're going to make this happen. So just really, really talking about the business part a little bit more and not being shy about it, and really letting people know that it's going to take work. But again, we're casting the vision of where we're going to be in 3 to 5 years. And we know because, again, I'm talking to my avatar. My avatar knows it takes hard work to get somewhere. So I'm helping them to remember that and see the vision past, you know, where we are in school right now of learning and mentoring and how it's going to pay off in the end. So I just kind of try to set that mentality from the beginning whenever I'm in my sneak peeks and talking. And I just wrapped up a sneak peek yesterday and had so many Code Market people that I had placed in there that were like, okay, I'm in, let's do it. So, and what's fun is that they're ready to build the business from the get-go. So it's good.
That's right. That's right. I was reading, there's a document, I don't remember the guy's name, but it's about building your vision. And he said building a vision or casting a vision, it's kind of like for the people who climb Mount Everest, you have to know what you're getting into. You have to know that there are going to be struggles, that it's going to be a track, so that when the hard times happen, and they're going to happen, you're not, and this is a metaphor for coaching, right? You're not going to say, your coach is not going to say, you didn't tell me, I didn't know that it was going to be this difficult. So I love that you're painting this portrait of climbing Mount Everest, and what's available in 3 years, 5 years from now could be huge. But I love that you're letting them know that there are going to be obstacles, but that you're going to be there with them. Already, I have been guilty of saying, join me, but I'm a leader. I don't like to be like everybody else. And you're so right with that terminology of like, join me versus partner with me. So guys, I've been coached 10 years in, and I'm already learning so much from what you're sharing, Keishia. So this is amazing. All right. So everything in the new coach training, we do have help in lesson 2 on determining who it is that you want to speak to on your avatar. There's part 1 and part 2. So you don't want to rush through this part. You really want to pay attention and think about who is it that you want to attract, because if you don't, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. So again, it's in lesson 2. And okay, so let's, and then I will add a different section on vision, casting a vision, just a short little exercise. So if we can, if you could take us through, hold on a second, let's look at 2 of your Facebook posts that you have success with. Hold on a second. How often do you post on your like page on Instagram as a post and on Instagram stories?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook stories every single day. You know, Facebook stories isn't big yet, but I feel like it will be eventually. So I want to be ahead of the game. I have my 2 accounts linked. So I show up on stories every single day. But if you follow me on stories, you will see like I'm not necessarily fitness or, you know, doing all of those things. I do show my shake every day, but I don't ever show any branding, any names or anything like that. I show my like daily habits and rituals, but I have so much thrown in there in the middle that I just try to really add value. So I just, like this morning I did a review on a coffee bomb thing that I had bought, and like I just like kind of showed people through things like that. So I show up on Instagram or Facebook stories every single day, and I show up and post on actual Instagram profile or my Facebook like page every day as well. I try to, every now and then I'll miss it, but generally I do. I feel like the days are gone where you post on Facebook 3 to 5 times a day, because stories has taken the replacement of that, in my opinion. I feel like now I just really post on my Facebook whenever, if I have value to add, you know, in some way. It's got to be value driven and not just like, hey, this is what I'm doing today kind of thing. So.
Okay, take us through. I totally agree. I think that Instagram stories is becoming huge. It is already huge. I've seen a huge shift for me and my business with Instagram stories. I love it. It allows people, one of the things that it does is that it allows people to see that even though you're successful, you're just a human. So it makes you more relatable. I imagine that people will see Keishia's stories, that's what I've been told about my own stories, that sometimes maybe because I'm so successful and people think, you know, that seems so far away. But when they see me just being normal on Instagram stories, talking baby talk to my dogs, you know, and just, you know, being me, they see that like, oh, she's just a human, you know, she's just a regular person who happens to work hard. So I absolutely love Instagram stories. Okay, do you see the screen with your post?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so take us through this post.
Okay, so, this is just a snapshot of me and my daughter. This was like middle of October, and I was able to go on a field trip with her and her class. And so something, I think too, whenever you're just starting out as a coach, you kind of feel like I can't share like really big things about coaching, and things like that. And like, and me, like I don't do coaching full time. And so I felt like, I couldn't share about coaching because I didn't do it full time. And I just think that that's really a mind block that we put forth, because so many people, freedom means so many different things to different people. And freedom to some people could mean, making their car payment without having to, scrounge up at the end of the month. It could mean, just being able to go shopping and buy a new shirt. It could mean a whole lot of different things to different people. But for me, again, I'm talking to my avatar, which is the professional mom, who whenever when I had my daughter, I was working 60 hours a week as a clinical director of a physical therapy. I was in my dream job of a physical therapy clinic, running that place. And whenever I had my daughter, I realized, holy crap, I'm going to miss her entire life because I'm going to be working to make someone else's dreams come true. And so this was 3.5 years before I even knew anything about Beachbody. But I knew I was meant for something else, and that this wasn't going to fulfill my life, right? So just going on this field trip with her, I just kind of thought back to that place when I thought I was really stuck, and remember thinking like, I'm never going to be able to go to school parties, field trips, things like that, because I'm going to have to be working. Well, coaching and creating my own business and becoming an entrepreneur has allowed me that freedom to do that when I please. And so that's something that I spoke about in this. So I just kind of talked about where I was then, and remember thinking that this day would never come. And I think when you start a post, it's really important to have that first paragraph really be mind-catching, because people want to make them read more. And so the first line there was a time I didn't think a day like today would ever be my reality, really, captures people and captures my avatar to be like, what is she talking about? And then I talk about all of those things that I didn't think I was going to be able to do, but this opportunity has given me the opportunity to do. And I don't ever say like, join me. If you look in my posts, I say I'm going to be mentoring a few new business partners who want to, figure out if the legacy project is right for you. And something I've been doing a lot lately is putting the group, my sneak peek group in there. I keep it open all the time, and people are, especially my kind of people, are skeptics. So they won't always like the post. They definitely won't always message you. Mm-hmm. And so I had to think about what's a way that's like less, confrontational, that they would like let me know that they were interested. So I have it to where I have to approve people. So people will request to join the group. People that have never liked, commented my post, anything. And it's like, boom, they are interested. Go ahead.
How do you, since you co-run this group and you allow, I'm assuming, other team members into this group, how do you know they're your people? Are you doing like a question? Because you can ask, you can require questions to be asked. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have a question in there, and the question's like, what member of the Legacy Project or whose Legacy Project member posts did you see that brought or got you interested in this group? And so if some people won't fill out that even, so if they don't, I just send them a message and be like, hey, I seen your request to join in. I'm super excited to talk to you. Let me know who whose post you've seen or who you've been talking to. I kind of filter it that way. And so if it was mine, then I go ahead and start connecting with them. And I connect with them. I don't just add them to the group. I connect with them first, because again, I'm looking for business partners and people who are serious. So I'm like, hey, tell me what makes you interested. Tell me more about where you are in life right now, what you're looking for. Once I start conversating with them, I'll add them to the group. Otherwise, you can just hang out right here if you're not going to talk to me. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So that's kind of how I've been doing it, and just putting the link has been good. And something that happens is when people find me, however they find me, they'll come back in, and you know how you can tell someone's stalking you because they come back in and like a bunch of your posts or whatever. Well, having a link there like that is good, because even if that post is old, I have people request to join the group every single day. So I always have new coach prospects that I'm like putting in my coach prospect list. I'm going to connect with you and start building a relationship with you.
That's great. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to stop sharing. That was great, and I bet you that we're going to find a common point in your next post. So hold on a second. And there's so much gold in this call. It's all right.
Okay.
Do you see the screen? This is your second post from last week. By the way, I'm totally inspired to get off this phone call and go do my first professional, my next post, speaking to professional women, because hearing you speak, I see that I've been targeting just everybody, and it doesn't work that way. And I have a PhD in French literature. There must be other professional women who, I mean, I can relate to you. Everything that you're writing, I'm like, yes. So I'm so excited. I've learned so much. I really hope that, you know, for everyone listening, you see that if you're a new coach, you might as well start doing things the right way so that you can build a solid business. And if you are a veteran coach, I hope you're not rolling your eyes and saying like, this is well, if you're saying it's too much work and this is not for you, but I hope that you're not just casting it off as another call, because 10 years in with the success that I have, I'm learning a ton and excited to implement immediately in the next, 20 minutes. All right. So take us through this post.
So one thing I want to talk about really quick is a picture. And so yesterday, the one we just showed was just like a snapshot, but I always throw a filter on it, and I always kind of want to make it stand out. So I try to have a mixture of photos that's like just me in my normal life, like boom, caught the photo with me and my little girl on the bus. And then also a photo like this. And this photo is not professional. It was a selfie taken by me in front of my window in my house. And then I like the Color Story app. That's what I've been using right now. And I'm pretty consistent with my filters that I use. But I think like just the standard selfie, you got to really stand out on social media these days. And just taking, selfies all the time and getting yourself in the same way is not eye-catching. So don't be afraid to the next time and you don't have to use a real-time photo. I think I used to try to do that all the time. This photo was taken 3 weeks ago, and I'll save a bunch of them on my phone. So when you're looking good that day and you've got makeup and stuff on, like go find some good lighting and snap 25 photos of yourself. Yeah, you feel really silly, but you're going to have a bank of photos to use when you have a profound post like this that you're trying to attract business people that's going to look professional. So just a tidbit there. It's something that I definitely learned, and I think it goes a long way. So
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So this post, again, it's reflective. And so again, when I'm writing a post, I'm thinking about who I used to be. And I think that's so darn key. I'm not talking like to who I am now. I'm talking to the woman I used to be and all the stuck feeling that I had. And even I used to be a super negative person, and I talk about being a skeptic and things like that. So this was a Sunday evening post. Again, I like to do call out posts on Sunday evenings because no one likes to go to work on Monday. And so this was a Sunday evening post. So I spoke about that. Cue the Sunday night blues. I talked about that in this post. I remember sitting in the nursery on Sunday nights, rocking my sweet 9-month-old daughter to sleep with tears in my eyes, knowing I had to leave her the next day to go to work. So I'm like pulling on the emotional heartstrings from the freaking beginning of the post. So again, I'm not saying, oh, I'm so glad I've made this money with Beachbody. I'm saying people make decisions with their emotions. You have to know the pain points of your avatar, and then you have to speak to them. So that's what I try to do with every single call out post that I do. So I talked about my doctorate degree, grad school loans, working all these hours, blah, blah. I was just over it. I decided I wasn't down for working the long hours to make someone else's freaking dreams come true. I realized if I wanted my dreams to come true, that I had to take control. Again, fostering the CEO mindset from the very freaking beginning. Taking control, making the decision. You're not going to get anywhere, even in healthcare, even with a professional degree. You can't always create what you want, because for me in healthcare, there were so many boundaries that I couldn't break through unless I decided to go out on my own and freaking do it, right? So I talked about how, but the darkness in my life was real, because I don't want people to, again, think that, oh, well, I'm not, like, I'm in such a bad place. I'm so broken right now. I'm so not fit. And think that that makes it impossible. Because I really want people ask me all the time, like, oh, well, should I get results first and then start posting about coaching? And I'm like, share your freaking journey from the beginning. Share the brokenness, like share it all, like take people on the journey as you transform. And that isn't just physical. Like, I do post transformation photos, but for me, so the inner transformations are so much more powerful. And if you can like really talk to people's emotions, talked about where you used to be and where you are now. And I tell my new coaches that can even be like, I always tell my coaches, like, today, make a post about what's different about you today than 1 month ago. Talk about the mental. Like, where are you at now? How much more forward are you now than where you were a month ago? You know? And so it doesn't have to be like this long, huge story. And you don't have to have this big, dark story. People relate to just the normal crap of every day, right? So talk about that and talk about how, you know, you're getting over it. So anyways, I'm just fostering the stuff from the beginning. Again, I'm not saying coaching. I'm not saying join me. I'm saying now the Legacy Project has become my freaking passion. Again, the Legacy Project is my team. I truly feel like I'm living my true calling. So listen up. You're not trapped. You're not stuck. And I'm just like straight up with people like I'm talking right now. I've got the biggest heart you'll ever find, but I'm also all about tough love, not about victimization. I'm not about whining and crying. If you want to change your life, you got to take control. So I'm talking to those people like that from the very beginning. And because of that, I bring in people that appreciate tough love and that need it. So.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so just as I said, there are common themes. You're looking for business partners. You foster that CEO mentality. People are part of something bigger than themselves. The Legacy Project. Your hashtag is brilliant. In my mind, I'm kind of going through it like, okay, how can I take our team name and make it into a project? Because people want to be part of something greater. You know, I have a new coach, and I'm just sharing this because I think that many coaches are guilty of this, and it's not a bad thing. It's just you require a shift. If this is you again, it just needs to be shifted. So I have a coach who was saying, one of my concerns or fears is that I don't know how I'm going to get people to get under me, right? And I said, well, if you want to switch your thinking, because you don't want anyone to get under you because they're not working for you, and that would mean that you're just collecting, as I said, warm bodies, right? You want to share your vision. What is it that you want other people to be able to do as a result of having Beachbody in their lives, whether it's empowering women, discovering their greatness, whatever it is. And I think we all want to feel like we're part of something bigger than just ourselves, right? So when you post, you want to do what Keisha's doing, which is really like inviting people to be part of this project, this thing that is not just about you. This is great, Keishia. Thank you so much. Is there anything else? We've been on for 50 minutes, or maybe not so much, but is there anything else that sticks out that you want to share? Any tips or advice that you didn't get to say?
Yeah.
Or if you can, did we lose you? Okay. Or if you can sum it up for their action steps, like this is what you need to concentrate on or do.
Right. So I think one point to point out before I kind of sum it up is that the social media post is so important, but you can't expect that everybody's just going to run to you when you make a post. So much of my business is built behind the scenes that no one ever sees. And so I spend a lot of time in my inbox. I spend a lot of time connecting with women. And so I'm always working from a list. And I tell my coaches, you don't have to, the first time you talk to people, again, if you're talking to your avatar, if I haven't talked to you in 2 years and you send me a freaking invite message, I'm ignoring your butt and moving on. I have no time for you, right? So I really, really foster connections with people. And I tell new coaches, if you're just connecting with people now, then that's going to pay off later. So I literally have a list of people that I'm building a relationship with, and that doesn't have to be super deep, okay? Because my post is going to go ahead and like give them my Instagram stories, my Facebook stories is going to give them more of that feeling like they know me kind of thing. I don't have to do all of that through Messenger because we have that now, so they feel like they know me already. But all I do is just connect with people. So, you know, just saying something super simple like, Sally, it's been a few years. How in the world are you? I love your recent family photos. I'm just going to have a normal conversation with Sally. And what's going to happen is Sally's going to click on me and she's going to go to my profile and see what the heck I've been up to, right? Yeah. And so that's why it's important for to have those posts on there. And then Facebook is going to kindly show Sally my my post in her news feed. And Sally's going to suddenly start liking and commenting on my post over the next few weeks or so, because that's how Facebook logarithms work these days. And so when I make a connection with Sally, I have a short conversation just as normal people. And then I move her in my tracking system to invite to my next boot camp. So that's usually 2 to 3 weeks from that point that I'm going to invite her, because I've connected with her. I want her to connect and build a relationship with me through my stories and through my posts. And then whenever it's time for me to invite Sally, it hasn't been years since I talked to Sally. It was just the other day about her family photos. So I'm like, Sally, gosh, girl, I'm working on my new boot camp, and I just realized I've never even invited you to join us. Mm-hmm. I freaking love it. It's one of my favorite things ever. What do you think? You know, something like that, super casual, not killing her with a bunch of information. So a lot of stuff happens from behind the scenes. So don't forget that part for sure. So
right. Part of the business, yes. Oops, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
A little delay. I was just going to say part of the business activity tracker is adding new people every day, connecting with new people, or connecting with your contacts every day, inviting at least 3 times a day. And 3 times a day, that's a minimum. So it's not, you don't see anywhere in the business, well, you do see in the business activity tracker, it says make a post. But if you only wait for people to come to you, your business is not going to grow. You must invite every day, and you must do this behind the scenes work of connecting, caring about people, inviting them. It doesn't come through a post only. This was brilliant. Thank you so much, Keishia.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. So you guys, yes, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to say, really just take this call and listen to it a few times, and then really just take action. Yes. Don't become paralyzed, because I've lived in paralyzing for too long, and don't think it has to be perfect. Just get started, and you'll improve as you go.
Yes, you fail forward. You do something, it doesn't work. You vomit, word vomit on someone. You're like, ooh, I don't need to. I mean, I remember, we've got to go. I remember talking to someone about the business opportunity, and I must have done it in such a gross kind of network marketing way that I could see the guy was like looking for an exit, and that was the moment that I woke up and I was like, oh my God, did I just totally try to like spam you and like vomit on you, Beachbody? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm just new at this and I'm so excited about it. And so I stopped doing that. But I needed to do that in order to learn, and this is how you learn. There's so many people that think that they need to learn everything and then apply it. And that's just not the way that success happens. You fail your way forward. And I've failed so many times, and we keep failing forward, and you keep growing, and you become the person that you want to become. All right, guys, listen to this call several times, take notes, apply, come back, listen, apply. And that's it. You're on your way. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Keishia. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.